Hello, everyone, and welcome to Improvate's Life-Saving Technologies 2021 International Conference. I'm Shanna Fold. Improvate is a platform for creating long-lasting connections, enabling change makers in technology and decision makers in government to make progress through innovation. Improvate is all about finding solutions and sparking collaborations that improve the quality of life for people all around the world. Today's broadcast will be dedicated, literally, to life-saving medical technologies, from bioengineering and cell therapy to medical devices and management of medical data. Advanced medical technologies enable us to find extraordinary solutions for diagnosing, monitoring, and treating disease, as we've seen during the COVID-19 pandemic. New medical technologies have provided rapid solutions for vaccination against disease. Artificial intelligence and machine learning allow us to use medical data to speed up diagnostic processes and drug development, and to create personalized treatments. Bioengineering and cell therapies are creating exciting new treatments for cancer. Today, we'll be hearing from leading experts in the field and from top Israeli technology companies: Madanet, IAI Elta Systems, G Medical, Telesofia, Patho-Logica, Inocan, Pharma, BioLite, iMedis, Sivan, Rhythm Life Sciences, KadimaStem, Pulse & More, Vayar, Healables, Precise Bio, Enlivex, Therapeutics, and Hospital. As always, watching along with us are representatives of investment funds from around the world who are looking to invest in Israeli innovation. Our first panel today is on data management and patient communication. Data management is today an integral part of how healthcare organizations are run. High-quality data helps healthcare providers deliver better care, while machine learning and artificial intelligence can interpret data to provide clinical support. With us here in the studio are Professor Zev Rothstein, Director of Hadassah Medical Center, Orit Farkash-Hacohen, Israel's Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. Joining us via video link are former Bulgarian President Rosen Plevneliev, Dr. Andrei Baciu, Secretary of State within the Romanian Ministry of Health, and Nikolai Hadjonachev, General Manager of Teva Pharmaceuticals, Bulgaria. President Rosen Plevneliev is also a member of Improvate's advisory board. President Plevneliev, great to have you with us. Again, it is an honor to have you.
Good morning. So proud to be with you. Good morning. And actually, let me share with you something I consider to be extremely important. Madam Minister, of course, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen all over the world watching that great conference of Improvate. After, let's say, talking to everybody who is anybody in the world, talking to heads of state, head of government, talking to billionaires, influential people that are really changing the world, I was always asking the question, tell me which is the biggest industry of the future? What are the industries of the future? Which is the biggest one of them? And actually, I was really surprised to understand that the biggest of all industries that come ahead of us is everything linked to human health, life sciences. And we are going to have extraordinary and very interesting conference today exactly about the biggest and the most important industry of the future that is linked to how people live, how long they live, and hopefully everyone on the planet could have a healthy and a life that is full of content and of joy. So thank you for addressing the most important issue. And thank you, Israel, because again, you're on the cutting edge of the biggest and the most important industry of the future. And we listen very carefully. We're not going to be the best, but learning from the best will help us being forward into delivering probably the most important thing, giving a perspective for every human being to have a healthy and happy life. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those warm opening remarks. First, we're going to start with Israel's Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Orit Farkash-Hacohen. It is such an honor to have you. We recently saw how Israel's extensive digitalized data helped it carry out perhaps the world's fastest vaccination drive, and how the Health Management Organization system helped Israel provide vital information on the effectiveness of vaccines. So what we want to ask first is, was Israel's unique data assets that helped secure the deal with Pfizer. What does Israel need to do to maintain this position on the world stage?
First of all, you are totally right. Israel was among the fast leading in pace of vaccination. And I think that until today, we are a little of a microcosmos of like a little, everybody is looking at what's happening in Israel as a test case to the coronavirus vaccination operation.
Professor Ze'ev Rothstein is one of Israel's most senior health professionals. He joined the Hadassah Medical Organization after a long and distinguished career at the Chaim Shiba Medical Center at Tel HaShomer, where he began as a senior cardiologist in 1977 and served as its director general from 2004 to 2016. Thank you for being with us. How does better data translate into better care?
Imagine a 50-year-old lady walking in the street and collapse. Immediately, okay, we dispatch, whether it's Magen David Adom in Israel, 911, etc. When they already arrive to her, they know all the history, they know the suspected diagnosis, and they know exactly right now that she even is stroke. And they don't waste any time. Immediately starting to treat her properly, okay? And she is saved, and her arteries are open again in the nearby hospital, and she is walking back home.
Joining us now in the studio is Professor Roni Gamzu, director of the Tel Aviv Sourasky Medical Center. Thank you. It is an honor to have you with us.
Good afternoon.
All right. Now, adding to the Sourasky Medical Center, Roni Gamzu, in gynecology, you've worked as well as associate professor in public health and business administration, and you've served as a director general. But what we previously were wanting to get to is a question for you about the convergence of health and technology. Can you tell us from your experience in these positions as coordinator and the director of Ecolove Hospital, how real-time data management and patient communication played out during the current pandemic and how this is saving lives? And we know that you were a big professional in the COVID scene here in the last year and a half. So tell us about that.
You know what? It's amazing because it's, I guess, the first opportunity that we had a new virus, a new kind of a disease. We didn't know nothing about it. And we had to treat, and we had to understand the transmission, what is going on. At the same time, to give the best medical care, at the same time, to invent the cure or the vaccine for that. We only could do that with the convergence of data, real-world data, from human contact in order to understand where is the next cases are going to happen, how we're going to treat, what is the best treatment, and at the same time, developing the vaccine and understanding the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Dr. Emmanuel Loeb is a veterinary pathologist and the CEO and founder of Patho-Logica, a service company that supports projects in the early stages of development of laboratory animal experience. Let's hear more in the following clip.
Patho-Logica was established in 2016 to provide histopathological solutions for preclinical, pharmaceutical in vivo studies and for medical device design. Experimental pathology in the framework of animal studies for the pharma has become a very dominant tool in the process of measurement of biological effects. We improved in Patho-Logica our histological processing and analysis and can validate, document, and quantify the histological data according to the GLP compliance and guideline. This change is a result of using advanced optic technology combined with computerized image analysis systems. Patho-Logica is standing in the front of the last development in the field and employs the best personnel for the achievement of this aim. Our mission is to meet the needs of our clients and researchers in the highest standard using our advanced tools and our creative spirit.
Thank you for that. Now, in general, what is the contribution of service companies to the industry? And more specifically, what's the contribution of Patho-Logica to the pharmaceutical industry?
Yeah. So, as mentioned in the film, Patho-Logica is indeed a service-providing company in the field of experimental pathology. Together with the other companies giving service, we create a corridor for all the entrepreneurs that goes through this corridor and are getting from us services from in different fields, in different phases of the development for their own product development. It can be usually a drug or medical device.
It's very exciting, especially because we haven't spoken yet about
more
animals.
More specifically, Patho-Logica is employing 3 pathologists. What we do is actually, we know how to read the tissues. We are involved in very early stages of the development. So the products were already trialed in vitro systems and in proof of concept trials. And then it's the first time in vivo that an experiment is taking place in animals. And our task is to read the tissue and to give a mirror, to give a feedback to the developer in early stages. What is the status in the toxicity assessment, or what is the status in the efficacy in animal models? And it's very critical because you have a lot of troubleshooting in these early stages. So it gives time and space for the developer to find his way to get to the finish line, which is the clinical human trial.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, what's the position of Patho-Logica in terms of international testing standards? And what's the company's ability to bring work from abroad to be performed right here in Israel?
Right. So we are 3 pathologists with international recognition, board certification. Next to that, we established GLP status. Here you can see it in 2018, which is recognized by all the OECD countries. So we are very confident with our quality. Regarding the bringing work and shipping samples from abroad, we have few companies that are working with us, but still very few. So what we can offer those is, first of all, state-of-the-art quality in experimental pathology in all facets and variations. And secondly, a competitive price.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, what are Patho-Logica's specific goals for the future, and how do they fit in with the future prospects for this entire industry?
Yeah, so Patho-Logica will continue to work on the quality and its different facets in logistics, technology, and human resources. We are already heavily investing in digital pathology analysis. That means that we use artificial intelligence tools to analyze our histological cross-sections. This is something very new, and we are very, very enthusiastic about it. It's a field that when it will be established, it will promote the pathology in this process of drugs development enormously. It's still in a premature stadium, and we see ourselves as pioneers in this domain.
Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
How do you view, from your perspective and from the perspective of the company's activities, in the fields of drug development in terms of the last 2 decades in Israel. What does the future hold in that regard?
So I can talk from this angle of a service provider. So I can see that in the last 20 years there is a great progress. But I can also assure you that in 20 more years we will be one of the important countries in this area of drug development. There are two driving forces in Israel which drive us, and I believe in them. First of all is the academia. We have good academia here. People are well trained. Basics training and basic theory is good. We have one of 4 Israelis hold an academic degree. So this is a very important driving force. The second is we are an innovative land. There is a lot of curiosity. There is a lot of need for development and solving complex problems. You can just see the unbelievable developments in cancer therapy involving biological therapies that slowly are replacing the chemotherapy. So I think there is an horizon. For that, we need a very good governmental plan. And in order for this branch to grow in a healthy manner, we really need short-term plan and a longer-term plan.
It's very exciting. Thank you for all of these insights, Emmanuel.
Okay.
All right, well, that is it for Improvate's Life-Saving Technologies Conference. We've looked today into the fascinating future of medicine, and we've heard from top experts throughout Israel and Europe, and from leading Israeli technology companies. Improvate is all about access and connections, exposing Israeli tech to leaders in governments and companies around the world to promote business whose goal is innovation. The exposure right here at this conference is a first step. The next step, maybe? Delegations and real-world business connections are next. We want to thank you all for taking part, and we hope that this is just the start of doing business together, making technology accessible to all, and improving the lives of people across the world. That's it for now. I'm Shanna Fold. Thanks so much for joining with us.